You are now listening to Fourth Down Fiasco, Season 2.
Fires, Mike Sims, Walker, knocked down.
Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again.
Jackson takes it himself. Look at him dart back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankles.
I have never seen this before in my life.
Still looking, firing, near corner. It's caught.
Denver, unbelievable.
And welcome to the Fourth Down Fiasco.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fourth Down Fiasco, your go-to podcast for all things football, brought to you by BetStamp. BetStamp is the sports bookie of all sports bookies because they keep everything in one place just for you. You can check them out at signupexpert.com/fiasco. They have BetMGM, Bet365, Caesars, FanDuel, all the big name sports bookies all in one place. Again, that's signupexpert.com/fiasco. Super excited today because I'm back. I no longer feel like shit, so I get to be a part of the pod this week. No Daniel Weber, but with me, as always, is my co-host and contributor, Tanner Vinsky. Say hello to the people for me, Tanner.
Hello, hello.
And I think it's only appropriate after this past slate of games from this week that we take a moment of silence for the Steelers, the Cowboys, and the Bengals. Well, the moment of silence is over because our teams are shit and they don't deserve anything better than that. But Tanner, week 8 just ended. Other than the immense amounts of blowouts this week, which is very unlike the NFL, I feel like. Did anything stick out to you?
I mean, my main gripe with the NFL right now is the NFL is so like gung-ho on premium games, like they want their primetime games, they want their new slots, that I think it's actually causing the games to kind of suck on Sunday, which is really unfortunate because like that's the one thing the NFL's got, right? Like every other sport, if you want to stay tapped in, like you're pretty much watching sports every day, right? Like if you're really into hockey, baseball, soccer, basketball, like you're watching mostly every game. Like you're mostly watching that sport every day, like there's maybe a few days here and there where you can skip. But if you really want to be like tapped in and know what's going on, you have to watch every day. Whereas like the NFL's got the advantage of like, yeah, you watch football on Sunday, you pick a game each day, you're good. Like you don't even have to watch like the Thursday, Monday games. Like you know what's happening. And with like the main emphasis on like international games and the way they've been portraying those and all the like double Monday games that we've been getting, which has been annoying as hell, like having 2 games on Monday night.
One Monday game, bro.
Yep. Nope. I don't want to, because the thing is on East Coast, the second Monday game, I just don't watch it because like I can't, like it starts at like 9-10 p.m. Eastern. Like I'm not sitting up and watching that. Like, and I mean, that's a problem I've always had with basketball is I root for a West Coast team and I live on the East Coast. So it's like, yeah, Clippers games, like, yeah, I'm not staying up for that shit. And also like, who wants to stay up to watch the Clippers? So you got the issue of, I don't know, like I'm getting upset with it because the NFL seems like we're trying to get to the point where we're like, oh, we're going to throw in Tuesday games and we're going to throw in Wednesday games. And then like that defeats the purpose of what makes like watching, I don't know, the sport fun. Is like you just sit there, you make an event of your Sunday. It's like, all right, after church, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch football until I go to bed. Like that's the whole point of it. Yeah. And you can't really do that as much anymore because you got games starting at like 8:30 a.m., 9:30 a.m. And then like you got like this week, especially like we had 6 teams on buys. So the 1 p.m. slot had like 5 games. Like, and that sucks. Like the 1 p.m. slot is like the most beautiful thing for football ever. Like the 1 p.m. Eastern slot, like you have all those games together and you get to watch all this shit. And yeah, I don't know, like this year, the 1 p.m. slot has just sucked every week. Like it has not been very enjoyable. So,
yeah, no, I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, American football is synonymous with Sunday. That's been the whole shtick over the years. And part of the reason why the NFL made it a Sunday event was because that's supposed to be the day that everybody has their downtime, right? I'm not trying to get political here, even though we are not a Christian society in terms of like it's not written in our doctrines that we are. That is just what a majority of people are, or at least were back whenever the NFL was on its rise, right? And so it's very simple of, hey, Saturday is the day that everybody goes out and goes and does their shit. You know, they go grocery shopping, they go partying, they go this, they do that, they take care of the lawns. Like everybody does their shit on Saturdays. And then Sunday was the day of rest, so to speak. And so everybody's at home. And that's how they made the NFL on Sunday such a great thing, was because everybody was home. And I think a lot of people still kind of even people who aren't religious take their Sundays very seriously. You know, I know plenty of people who aren't Christian that Sunday is the day before Monday hits. So you got to, really take advantage of your Sundays. And I'm with you. These double Monday games are so stupid because the first one starts at 5. And it's my time, and so I don't ever watch the first game because normally I'm still in the process of getting my dog's exercise, cooking my dinner, shit like that. So by the time that I'm actually settled, I only ever watch the second game. And so I'm with you of like, can we, instead of having the 2, have the 1 and have it at a time where pretty much everybody in the country can watch it on Monday, where it starts at, 5 for the West Coast and 8 o'clock for y'all. And that way it's not just completely brutal for everyone. Yeah. And let us enjoy our Sundays, man.
And the thing is like when you only have 17 weeks of football, like you get the advantage of capitalizing on one day. Like you get to lock down your day and you get to do that. Like the other sports don't get that advantage because they play 82 games a year. And I mean, baseball plays like 6,040 or something, somewhere around that range. So, they don't have to, they definitely don't get that privilege. But the thing is like, you see how much like hockey and basketball struggle compared to the NFL in America, at least. Like they're still both very popular sports and they do well here, but they don't do as well as the NFL by any sort of metric because it's harder to just sit there and like be like, oh shit, yeah, when like, if you're in Cleveland, like, oh shit, when did the Cavs play? Oh, they play Thursday, like they play Wednesday night. I got work the next morning, right? Like you got to go for that. And it feels ridiculous to me that like, and I get why the NFL is doing it because of profit margins. It's like, oh, well, primetime, we get our most money on primetime games, obviously, right? Because everybody's locked in and they're tapped into that one game. But, eventually that starts to fade away the further and further you move because that's not the way it is in basketball. It's not like everyone's like, oh shit, let's get ready for Wednesday night basketball, like, yeah, no, most people will skip those games. Like and you're going to get to the point where the NFL, where they're going to be like, oh shit, why aren't people watching Wednesday night football? And it's like, well, because nobody wants to fucking watch Wednesday night football, like, yeah.
No, I mean, you're hitting it right on the head. Like, I've never been a Thursday night football watcher, like ever, because I normally have shit to do Thursday nights. Yeah. Now that I'm an adult, it looks more like prepping for Friday and making sure that all my ducks in a row. So then that way on Friday, I can get off at the time that I want to be off at and not have to like work extra, make sure I got all my shit ready for the weekend. Like Thursday is like kind of like my get shit done day. It's kind of like my Sunday on steroids. And so like, I don't watch Thursday games. And even whenever I was in college, Thursday was Thirsty Thursday. So I still didn't watch football games. So yeah, I'm with you, dude. I wish that we would put more of an emphasis on the Sunday games because that's when a majority of like casual football watchers, your day-to-day football watchers, not your, journalists and other things, but just the average everyday, they watch Sunday games, bro. Put the games on Sunday. And I'm fine with I'm not quite as mad about the, having games in Europe and shit. Like it's kind of funny to me almost with us and our coverage of the ELF
for sure
to watch the game at 7:30 in the morning because I'm used to doing that.
Yeah, we do it anyways.
Yeah, we do it anyways. And honestly, it's kind of nice because it's like, even for the casual football watcher, hey, dude, I can crack a beer open at 8 in the morning and there's football to be had until 8 or 9 p.m. Yep. We're down for it. But yeah, the Thursday shit needs to end. Yeah, them trying to like force these weird Tuesday, Wednesday games needs to end. 2 games on Monday needs to end. Put that shit on Sunday where it belongs.
Yeah. And the thing is I also think like just lessening the amount of international games is going to be beneficial, right? Because again, I know they want to move to the point where I guarantee what they want to happen is they want an international game every single week of the NFL. I think that's the direction they're moving. They're like, every week we're going to have an international game. And then that way, every team in the league is going to play an international game. There's going to be the 8 home games, the 8 away games, and then your neutral site game that's going to be played overseas, right? I think that's what they want to move towards. But I don't know. When you get to that, then I feel like it loses a lot of the allure, right?
Yeah.
And maybe this is just me being just like a fucking massive boomer and things are changing and I don't like it and I want my good Christian football back, right? But that's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just old man screaming at the clouds, but that's the way it's felt this season for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. I want there to be, I would love for football to grow and expand overseas. Being from Texas, like I eat, breathe, sleep, drink football, right? Always have been. Like, the earliest pictures of me as a child are in an Emmitt Smith jersey. It's / a Cowboys onesie if you want to really throw it back. But I think that there's other ways that you can do it without having to your point exactly, have a game every week, because I think you're also going to oversaturate the folks that are over there. Instead, hey, here's an idea. There's this league across the pond that's having financial issues and can't pay people that would do really well if the NFL were to back it. I wonder what that league is. Yeah, set it up. Make your version of the G League out in Europe.
Yeah, why not?
It would be so much fun because you would have a great product. You would have a semi-professional, league out there doing what they do, basically taking what the XFL and UFL are trying to do in the States and failing to do, put it in Europe. You're going to have a fan base between Germany, the UK, France, as we've seen. Poland loves their American football over there. You've got places where you could set up shop. You can still get your European players, so you can still have your homegrowns, your Luis Geyers of the world still making plays, but you can also find a destination for these D2 college guys who, hey, you didn't make the NFL. You want to go play in Europe? Yeah, I want to go do that. And then you're still growing American football overseas.
And I think that makes it easier for people who want to watch the G League equivalent. It's more interesting if it's played in Europe because it has more allure to it, right? It's oh shit, that's cool. These guys are playing in Europe, and you see all kind of the different idiosyncrasies of it. Because I think a big issue why the UFL doesn't work as well and doesn't get a huge traction is because it's just not that interesting compared to the NFL, right? The level of play is just slightly worse. It's not as explosive. It's not as fun to watch, and there's nothing unique about it compared to the NFL. You're just watching a watered down product. Whereas when you get to the ELF and you got to deal with all these different rules and it's different gameplay, it's different style play. And then you have the whole homegrown system and all this stuff. It's very interesting from a football perspective because it's so much different from the NFL, the same way, a lot of people like Canadian football because Canadian football is pretty much a different sport, with all the different rules they have. When you sit there and you watch football, you're like, holy shit, this is wacky. This is cool. Same with Australian football. I don't know if you've ever seen anything from Australian football, but it's almost weird. It's super weird. It's almost like rugby, it's not even really football at all. So
yeah, no, exactly. And part of the spectacle of the ELF is, even on the days where there's, no fans in the seats, because they're allowed to bring in noisemakers and vuvuzelas and other things like that, it is loud as fuck, even whenever there's only 1,000 people in the stands. And so you pair that with the different venues and I think about Raider Tyrol's stadium, right? And how the view of the mountains there is insane. And so, you get a lot of that versus the UFL where, you've got Memphis.
St. Louis.
You've got Birmingham. I'm sorry, but if I'm going to go watch football in Alabama, I'm going to go watch.
You're going to go to Auburn. Yeah, you're going to go to Auburn.
Auburn. Yeah, I'm going to go watch some SEC football. I'm not going to go watch the Birmingham Stallions. And yeah, so if you want to really get that allure, as you refer to it as, you got to make it different. You have to. That's why the G League is not making the kind of money that I think the G League would like to make. Is there's no allure to it. It's literally just, hey, this is the farm system. If you want to go watch some cheap basketball, when you're watching it looks like cheap basketball. There you go.
Yep. And that's why people watch college basketball and they don't watch the G League. Like no one wants to watch the God, what is the Clippers G League team? I think they're like the Agua Caliente Clippers or something. Agua Caliente. Like, yeah. It's like, all right. Like, no one's watching that team.
Yeah, dude. Nobody gives a damn about the Texas Legends. What?
Yeah.
That's just where we go whenever guys are rehabbing, and you send them down to the G League for a couple of games for a little tune-up, make sure that their legs still work, and then you put them right on back into the NBA. I have never once watched a Texas Legends game, and I probably never will now that I don't live in Texas.
Yeah.
Not my prerogative. There's just nothing different about it. If the NBA did almost like what they did with the in-season tournament and figured out a way to spin it and make it different for the G League, then all of a sudden now we're cooking. Hey, maybe instead we've got a G League team that's facing off against Real Madrid and they're playing at a neutral site game in Brazil. Okay, now I'm locked in. Now I want to see some shit. But
that's not going to happen.
No, because Real Madrid would absolutely mop the floor with the G League team, dude.
Yeah.
But again, I would watch I've watched Real Madrid games because it's different. It's a different style of play. I've watched Eurobasket so many years in a row, watching Greece and Slovenia and Spain and Germany and all these teams play. And it's because it's a different style of play. It's, it's refed completely differently. Like there's so much more fouls you get away with. There's a much more physical gameplay. There's also not the 3-second rule. So big men can really be big men and dominate. Yeah. And
you don't watch that.
It's fun. It's great to watch. And they make plenty of money doing their own thing out in Europe. And they are a step down from the NBA, but it's what the NFL should create.
No, I completely agree. Like, I think that would be a fascinating way to take football in the international direction rather than just seeing, all right, unfortunately, Germans got to, we're sending them to Frankfurt and we're sending them Jags and Jets, have fun. And it's like, all right, cool. Yeah. I'm not waking up for that game. And that's a lot of times I feel like with the international games is if it was on a 1 p.m. slot, if there was Jaguars Jets, if that game was close, I would flip the channel to go watch it. Right. Mm-hmm. But the thing is I'm not waking up at, 7:30, 8:30 a.m. to watch Jaguars Jets, like I'm just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about that. And there's plenty of matchups like that where it's just like, I swear they almost send like just the worst matchups to Europe most of the time too. Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we seen, I'm glad Danny's not on this, but we've seen the Bengals play or we've seen the Browns play or the Jets play. Yeah, the Jags, I feel like always get, a game out there. And at least they're better now, but they've been putting the Jags out there for a long time before the sunshine days,
Yeah. And that's just not good for anybody. Not good for any football fan.
No. Yeah.
Not all my Jags fans.
Well, that's us ranting about the NFL and the way that they've got those games set up and Saturdays and Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays and all that shit. I don't think that there's really anything exciting to talk about these games because, we talked about it before we started recording. All of these games were double-digit wins with the exception of Bengals Jets. And I'm not talking about Bengals and Jets. So if Danny were here, I would, but I'm not talking about Bengals Jets.
The worst part is the only thing I want to say about Bengals Jets has nothing to do with the Bengals at all. I don't know if you saw what happened with Justin Fields, but Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, like completely threw him under the bus and was like, well, yeah, when you got quarterback play like that, you can't really win any games, like just completely shitting all over Justin Fields. And Justin Fields, he had like a really vulnerable press conference after the win where he was talking about like how, he's been in like such a dark place over the last few weeks just because of all the media attention and everything going on and how his career's not playing out the way he was. And he was talking about how he after whatever the loss was the Jets had last week, but he like genuinely got back to his home and he went into his closet and like curled up and cried for a few hours just because he like thought his career was like pretty much over, and he was praying. He was just like, I just need like one win this season. So, I mean, shout out to Justin Fields for at least getting that, but it just sucks. Like my main thing with Justin Fields, he's just such a good dude. And like you see Justin Fields talk and you're like, man, I want this guy to be so successful. And even when he was in Pittsburgh, it was like, I was so Justin Fields coded over Russell Wilson, which I think a lot of Steelers fans were. Sure. Because Russell Wilson's just so hard to like listen to and like interact with. And like, he's just like, he's got the charisma of like a freaking goldfish. Whereas like Justin Fields is just such like a likable guy. And it just sucks that he sucks at football. Like it really does. Like I wish he was good at football because he's one of like the best dudes in the NFL right now. But unfortunately for Danny, but I was very relieved to see Justin Fields at least get a win, Get
a W somewhere, right?
And also fuck Woody Johnson, dude. Like, why are you like, your team sucks, whatever. Your quarterback sucks. Don't like just shit all over the guy,
Yeah, those are conversations to have behind closed doors of, hey, you're not meeting these benchmarks, but you don't put that out there in the public like that.
And it's also like, who made the decision to have Justin Fields as your quarterback? You signed him in the offseason, right?
Yeah.
Like
this was your signing, brother.
Yeah. Like, you can't just pass the blame all to him. You're the one that decided to bring him in, Yeah,
1,000%. Well, Fiasco Awards, since we're talking about shit teams, we can start talking about Fiasco Awards. I'll go ahead because I know that we haven't talked about it, so we're just kind of blind reacting to Fiasco Awards this week. Tanner and I are both going to present a person for each category. For Big Dog of the Week, I am actually going to go with a non-quarterback for Big Dog. I'm going to go with James Cook with the Buffalo Bills, 19 carries, 216 yards, 2 tuds, and the Bills' absolute dismantling of the Carolina Panthers. That brother was on one.
Oh, yeah.
That brother was on one. I only saw the highlights. I didn't watch nearly as much football this past weekend as I normally do. Had a lot of Halloween-related things, and anybody who listens to the show or knows me personally, I take Halloween very seriously. But yeah, my boy James Cook went crazy, 216 yards, 2 tuds, and Bills look good. They don't look unstoppable, but I mean, and they are a part of that highest echelon of teams right now,
Yeah. 100% agree. For who I'm going to give Big Dog to, I'm mostly doing it for the irony, but I'm going to give it to our boy Tua Tagovailoa, because, I mean, Tua's had a lot of shit this season. He's been terrible. He's said some really egregious things about how, he's just happy to be a family man. He doesn't really care about playing good football anymore. It's like, well, man, like, I don't think that's what you should be saying at the press conference.
Hey, bro, but that's so real, though. He's like, hey, look, man, I get paid, and I get paid. So,
but dude, again, with not knowing what the fuck Atlanta is, I mean, he decimated them. 20 for 26, 205 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I don't know, like, Atlanta is a team that beat the Bills. I mean, they obviously have something going on, but then they get dismantled this way. So I imagine that this wasn't just Tua not making mistakes and game managing. Like, it's actually a good performance for Tua. And, when your nickname's Tua turned the ball over, like, whenever you get a good performance, like, I think we got to give him a nudge, right?
Oh, man. Sure. I love it. And I think the 2 things that I love most about this is, one, his comments about like, I'm a family man. I don't really care about good football, whatever. Like him and Justin Fields basically being the same person on a football field. And it's like, one of them's like, dude, I'm in this dark place. Life is so hard. I hate sucking, blah, blah, blah. Takes it super seriously. You can tell that he wants to win. And then there's the flip side of that, a guy who's basically the same player that's like, bro, fuck that. I'm getting my money,
He's like, I can go home to my beautiful wife and my beautiful children. Like, I don't give a fuck. And it's like, hey, respect,
like,
but
I make
also
money and I live in Miami. Like, I'm having a great time, bro.
Yeah.
I love that. And then the second thing that cracks me up, and it's just, it will always make me laugh, of just us in our 2-week stint of covering his little brother in the ELF.
Mm-hmm.
And just the amount of pandemonium around it, not just from us as journalists on that end, but also like the NFL guys were like, oh yeah, he's about to take this league over by storm. And it took like 2-3 weeks for him to be out, play himself out.
Yeah, exactly, dude. The amount of hype.
His first play was a pick six.
Yeah, the amount of hype for Talia to get into the league and all that stuff happening, everyone's like, holy shit, like everything was going crazy, and he played 2 weeks, like.
And for his first throw being a pick six was just poetic. All right. Unsung hero. I'm going to go a different route. Normally for unsung hero, I like to pick a defensive guy, but there's a gentleman out in Los Angeles playing for the Chargers who – backup guy, I believe he's RB3 on the roster, and he's just been stepping up week after week. I got to show him some love. Kimani Vidal, 23 carries, 117 yards, and a tutty. Man, I'm going all running backs this week. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things of football is such a next man up sport just because injuries, it's such a heavy contact sport. You got to have good backups. And Vidal has been playing his ass off the past 3-4 weeks while Omari and Hampton's been out. And I have very happily picked him up in a lot of fantasy leagues. It's not quite the same as having Omari and Hampton, but it is nice enough where as soon as I saw Hampton go out, I was like, all right, Vidal, come on.
Yeah.
I need those points.
And I mean, he's the only running back in that room right now because Haskins is out. Yeah, Hampton's out. Like, it's tough.
Yeah, he was RB3 because I believe Haskins was 2. He's RB3, and man, he was RB3.
I mean, before the season started, he was RB4 because Najee was RB1, Hampton was 2, Haskins was 3.
Where is that guy? Is he alive? Is he okay?
No, dude. I remember we talked about it. He was speed running his pirate journey because he tore his Achilles and he's got the eye patch from the fireworks and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he takes the Tua approach and is just happy he's got some money.
Which sucks because Najee also phenomenal dude. Love Najee.
No, I've heard of his interviews. Seems like a great guy.
Yeah, but just terrible injury luck over the offseason. I mean, any fireworks related accident, that's just so unfortunate, right?
Yeah. What was his name for the New York Giants?
Pierre-Paul.
Who was it?
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah. Off 2 fingers.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, so I'm giving it to Vidal for, great performance, great team win, 37-10 over the Minnesota Vikings. Oh, man, it is hard to be a Vikings fan in this world.
It's so terrible.
Would never want to be a Vikings. And I'm a Cowboys fan, and I would never want to be a Vikings fan.
Dude, and what was it? Was it Kirk Herbstreit who was talking shit about Carson Wentz that game? And he's like, oh, you can't throw a tantrum on the sideline. You got to be a man and you got to show that you're a leader to this roster. While he's sitting there playing, obviously injured, and Kevin O'Connell won't take him out of the game. That was ridiculous, dude. Poor Carson Wentz. Just so many injury concerns through his career. And then he goes out there, gets his ass beat, is obviously injured. KOC, even though they're getting their asses beat, is like, nope, you got to go out there and keep playing. And he can't even throw, can't do anything. And then you got Kirk Herbstreit's dumbass sitting there in the booth, and he's like, oh, well, this guy's not playing tough football and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, man, you go out there with a broken collarbone. Let's see what happens, you know? So rip to Carson Wentz. Sucks that he's probably not playing, getting another job somewhere else after this.
Hey,
it's all the injury stuff.
Everybody just needs to start adopting the Tua philosophy, brother.
Yeah.
You made some good money, invest it.
Get your way out. Yep.
Yeah. Especially if you're a quarterback, you made some damn good money, even if you were a career backup. So go invest in some real estate and some shit. You'll be all right. It'll be okay.
It'll be good. I mean, Josh Rosen? I think Josh Rosen these days is now he got a master's degree in business or something and is opening up his own, I think he has his own real estate business he's doing or some sort of thing. Yeah. So even though he flamed out, he found a way to make it work.
Shout out Josh Rosen, bro. I remember when he got picked and people were talking about he's the next. And I was like, I just don't see it.
You know what the funniest part is? We have a friend who's from Buffalo. Her name's Jamie. And when we were sitting there, we were watching that draft because I think that was our sophomore year of high school or college.
2016, wasn't it?
No, it was 2018. So that would have been like our sophomore year of college, I believe.
Yeah, y'all were younger than me.
Like a year. But what's it called? We were sitting there and we were watching the draft. And the Bills picked Josh Allen. I remember Jamie sitting there, and she's like, "Fuck, we picked the wrong Josh." Like, she was so pissed. She was like, "We should have picked the other Josh. Why the hell would we take this guy?" You know?
Oh, I'm glad. I bet that she was happy she was wrong.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, my dad's he's a real football watcher, a real ball knower. He consumes football like nobody I've ever seen. And so he's got elite ball knowledge. I'll shout out Pops on that one. I'll send him that clip too. But my dad was also a major Josh Allen hater whenever he got drafted. He was like, dude, why are you picking up this kid from Wyoming? Like, who does Wyoming face? This is such a stupid pick, blah, blah, blah. And now my dad's like, good for them.
Yeah.
Who is your unsung hero, my friend?
I'm going to make sure to keep in with our defense appreciation, and I'm going to pick Kamari Lassiter from the Houston Texans. Huge win over San Francisco. I mean, this was more of like San Francisco showing their signs of actually being injured and finally like dropping a game. But I mean, Houston's defense is what's keeping them in these games. And Kamari Lassiter had a great game. He got an interception. He had 4 tackles from the cornerback position. He's also a guy who I think he was a second round pick in like 2023 or 2024, something like that. So, not exactly a starter, but he's been making a name for himself. And I mean, played really well. And is a big reason why the Texans are staying in these games and, aren't entirely dead at 3-4. They have one of my favorite defenses in the league. I just wish that their offense wasn't so terrible and they didn't have like the worst offensive line in the world,
Yeah, I mean, I did catch a little bit of this game, and, CJ Stroud, nice stat line. It just goes to show this was a game where, for whatever reason, I just didn't see quite as much pressure on the 49ers end. I think, to your point exactly about their just the amount of issues that they're having with the entire team, not just the defense, to be quite honest. But it was like, man, like it was kind of a good reminder of CJ Stroud is a good quarterback if you can let him set his feet, bro. And
for sure.
And I think that you see that a lot with a lot of quarterbacks across the board. I think this past year in general, we've seen it, people have been talking about how well Dak has played. And it's like, yeah, because he's not running for his life every 5 minutes, and not just Purdy, but Mac Jones as well has been struggling with this San Francisco team because their offensive line isn't nearly as good as they've been in years past. It's like, dude, quarterback play is so heavily dependent on your offensive line. And if you have a shit offensive line, your quarterback is going to also play like shit. But this was a game, San Fran, no sacks. They got 3 total tackles for loss, no sacks. And funny, this is a game where CJ Stroud goes for 318 and 2 tuds. And, gets an extra 30 on the ground.
For sure.
It's not rocket science.
No.
So who is the gentleman you said Lassiter was?
Kamani Lassiter.
Unsung, I like that. Yeah, tackle for loss, 4 solos, 7 total tackles, 1 pass deflection. Did have the interception. I dig that. That's a good choice. Normally I do a defensive guy for unsung, but I had to give it to the doll, mainly because he won me a game in fantasy this week.
For sure. I get it.
Got to give flowers where flowers are due. All right, Mr. Fiasco. Man, I feel like with all the blowouts this week, there's plenty of candidates for the Mr. Fiasco Award. Because I haven't gotten to pick on this individual all season, because there's always been just one worse performance than this particular individual, and so I haven't been able to let him have it. but one Matthew Eberflus.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, it is time. Rent is due, Matt Eberflus. It is time to talk my shit. I am so over this goddamn Cowboys defense because the most frustrating thing about it is, yes, I understand that we are underhanded in terms of we don't have the personnel to have a top 10 defense. I understand that in its entirety. But we're so like inarguably the worst defense in the NFL. Inarguably. Like we are 32nd, and there is a gap between 31 and 32, which I believe 31 is the Jets. And it truly, and this is not a lie, if we had the Jets defense instead of our defense, we would be 6-2 right now. That's not a joke. If we had the 31st best defense instead of the 32nd defense in the NFL, we would be 6-2 right now. If you just took their average points allowed per game and just copy and pasted our offensive numbers.
Yeah.
And this past week, we go into Denver, Mile High Stadium. This is a game. Offense did not play great. I'm not going to sit here and say that this was solely the defense's fault. But we run into this issue, and the same thing happened in Chicago where, offense is playing average football, but defense is so bad that a quarter and a half passes and you're going, oh shit, now I've got to start forcing things, got to completely throw out the playbook because we're down 2.5 touchdowns and we have no chance of getting back unless we just start Hail Marying every play. And, yeah, dude, y'all know on this pod, I am the only Bo Nix truther on this pod. I know you and Danny hate Bo Nix. I think that he has great potential to do some great things. And this was one of those games where, boy, did he look good. Minus the early interception, which that early interception, I was like, oh, man. Here, I was like, he going to be playing like shit today, and then proceeded to go for 4 unanswered touchdowns because that's what quarterbacks do against our defense. Yeah, 247 yards, 4 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins, who, don't get me wrong, he's having a career resurgence, but he's not nice like this. 15 carries, 111 yards, a 7.4 average. We also let R.J. Harvey have a 6.6 average on 7 carries, 2 touchdowns, broke one off for 40 and a tutty. And I've seen these exact same players in this Matt Eberflus scheme play for either one of Dan Quinn or I forget the DC that we had last year. But I've seen us play for other defensive coordinators, these same players, and us not suck this bad. That's what I don't get.
And I just want to point something out here. So, again, for me to obviously stand on my ground and shit on Bo Nix, going into this week, Bo Nix had the 31st passing EPA in the league. So what that means is just like his efficient passing attempts, like on deep and intermediate throws. I think on intermediate throws, he was 26th, and on deep throws, he was 31st. So very terrible numbers, right?
Yeah.
After playing the Cowboys, he went from 31st to 12th. That's how bad that defense is.
Dude, that is a crime, brother. That is highway robbery.
Yeah, he went from being the second worst starting quarterback in the league on deep throw percentages, pass attempts, to 12th. He became an above average quarterback after playing the Cowboys.
Well, and he looked great against us. Dude, he was out there shelling out bombs. Just absolutely. And the thing is, we just talked about, if you allow a quarterback to set their feet, they can do some damage. And here's Bo Nix. Dude's got 5-6 seconds just chilling in the pocket, sets his feet.
No pressure at all.
60-yard bombs. Like he's back in Oregon, bro.
I mean, he's playing a Big 12 defense again.
Yeah, dude, honestly,
Pac-12, my fault.
I think that there are some Pac-12 defenses right now that I think would be better than the Cowboys defense. I think Oregon's defense right now would be better than the Cowboys defense. That's how bad we are. Ugh. All right, well, I'm done ranting because if not, I'm just going to spiral into depression. And, the days are getting shorter and shorter. So, I want to make sure that I get a little sunshine before the day is up. Who do you have for Mr. Fiasco?
I would love to also give it to our defensive coordinator, who's just as big of a fucking dumbass as Matt Eberflus, Terrell Austin. But I just don't want to talk about Pittsburgh. I just don't think
he's also not, though, statistically speaking. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but he's a fucking idiot, and he needs to get out of the building. But I don't want to waste my breath. I mean, the Penguins are 7-2-1. Sidney Crosby just crossed 1,700 career points, fourth fastest player to ever do it. We're in hockey season, What's it called? If the Steelers get their heads back out of their ass, I'll give the Penguins a break. But if not, then we're done.
It is.
But but I'm gonna give it to Marcus Mariota for what he did last night. Just terrible all around. I mean, only 213 yards, 2 interceptions, 2 terrible interceptions at that. Yeah. He tried to hurdle a guy behind the line of scrimmage for some reason. I don't know what the hell that was about. I mean, it feels bad to shit on Marcus Mariota because he's had such a disgusting path in the NFL with just the organizational incompetency put around him and all the shit he's had to deal with. And the fact that he has start jobs here as a good backup on NFL rosters is really great. But it just sucks when you're sitting there and you're looking at a Chiefs team who you're like, okay, if you are at least playing efficiently on offense, you can keep up with these guys. Their defense has regressed. You can make something happen on here. And then just to go into primetime and just
in front of God and country, brother.
Yeah, just do the shit you were doing. And you have to see Rashi's Rice murderous ass tearing it apart. It's God, it's just unfortunate. It's
unfortunate.
And again, it's a Monday night, so I'm not even really watching the game anyways, but but still, I mean, it was just a bad day for Mariota, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Also, just a bad day from the Commanders in general. You could give this to Krosky Merritt. I mean, he was terrible on the ground. I think he was 9 for 25. I mean, the best player who came out was Jeremy McNichols. He had 64 yards or something. And it's well, if your best player in a game is Jeremy McNichols, something went wrong.
Something's up.
So it's not just Mariota, but I mean, seeing 30-something-year-old Mariota try to hurdle a guy behind the line of scrimmage, I feel like that just pushes the edge,
Yeah. I you know me as a Cowboys guy, I will always hate watch the commies anytime I get a chance. So I mean, I was cool with this. I mean, they literally just dropped their own drawers on national television. It was a beautiful sight to see for me. But I do feel bad for Mariota though. It's not a good situation for him. I mean, this is a commies team that I think a lot of people overhyped going into the season, and I get why, because they had such an amazing year before. But it's kind of we saw this happen with the Cowboys. After with year 2, there was definitely a regress from the
2016 season,
and teams were able to figure out the Dak and Zeke combo and. Now Jaden Daniels isn't in, but even whenever he was, people were starting to figure him out. It's just what happens with year 2 with these rookie quarterbacks that have such great rookie year campaigns. Year 2, you get some film, people start to figure out how to, jar you a little bit. And, people also put a lot of stock in, they got Deebo Samuels. And I'm like, bro, Deebo's not the Deebo we're used to seeing. This is not the same Deebo from 3 years ago, Yeah. And Scary Terry also, he's aging, I love Terry McLaurin so much. Even though I hate the commies, I love Scary Terry. But dude's aging, and he's been on a bad roster for a long enough time that now the roster's finally getting better, but he's digressing because he's just – that's what time does to football players.
Well, and I think a big thing with the whole Scary Terry thing is he has a really good chemistry with Jaden Daniels, and when Jaden Daniels is playing, he has good games. The issue is Jaden Daniels has only played 2 games this season, and I don't think him and Mariota are on the same page very often, so he's just putting up terrible stat lines. And honestly, I think Debo's been pretty good for the Commies. I mean, like, he hasn't been like top like half receiver or anything like that. But I mean, for a signing of his caliber coming in as a number 2 guy, I mean, he's fit into the system really well, and he's looking way better than he was last season. Yeah, I mean, he had a bad game yesterday, but dude, I'm telling you, the only guy who did well last game was Jerry McNichols. Everybody else shouldn't have shown up, you know? Like, outside of his terrible game last week, like, he has done relatively well in the system, and it's good because in San Francisco, Deebo Samuel looked like a terrorist. You know, he was horrible on the field. So, yeah. I don't think it's entirely doom and gloom for the Commies. This year it's pretty grim. Like, it's not looking great for them. But I think in their future, I mean, you still probably got a couple of good years left out at Scary Terry and Deebo Samuel. I think if you get a healthy Jaden, you get some better pieces on the defense, you know, on those rookie contracts, that's when you make the best chance to compete and make something happen. So, yeah, I don't think it's entirely done for them, but I mean, this was a bad week. Like, this is not what you like to see for a team who should be on a Super Bowl trajectory. Like, people were saying preseason, like, oh, this is a team who's on a Super Bowl trajectory. Like, they're heading that direction. This team couldn't be further from a Super Bowl trajectory the way these first 7 weeks have gone, you know? Yeah, 100%. And I think too, with the way their wide receiver room is set up, especially now that both of these guys are aging, if we were talking about prime Deebo and prime Scary Terry, this is a whole different conversation that we're having. You Absolutely. Put both of those dudes in their prime, they probably make Marcus Mariota look like Patrick Mahomes, you know? Like, 100%. But they're both past their prime, and they're not aging well, you know. And in my opinion, I guess I'm a bigger Deebo hater than you are, but I especially think that with Deebo, and it's just because he's such a physical wide receiver that it's taking a toll on his body, you know. Where I think the Commies need to make the adjustments for next season is you've got to get a true wideout one. I think McLaurin still has Pro Bowl wide receiver 2 ability, where if you give him a true wide receiver 1 to take those double teams, we'll see a resurgence from Scary Terry. It's like, damn, did he really just go for 1,200 yards in a season? Yes, because his wide receiver 1 went for 1,500 and is getting all the double teams, you know? Yeah. I think that Terry McLaurin still has that ability, but when he's getting the double teams at 30 years of age, it's just really hard to be that guy at that age like 100%. That, unless you're Jerry Rice. Literally, that is the one of one is Jerry Rice. So, and then I think Deebo would be better set being hey, yeah, you're our physical guy that, you know, sometimes we line you up on the outside to catch, you know, bombs and so you can moss people, or we have you in the slot, give you a couple slants and you can stiff arm a couple of safeties kind of thing. That's more the role that I think that he would be better at this juncture in his career. No, I agree. So, well, cool. Let's we can run through Pick Ems real quick, do some rapid fire Pick Ems, and then we'll wrap up the show. Let me pull up the schedule real fast. Oops. I got it up if you want me to run through it. Oh, hell yeah. Let's do that. I like blind reacting. Cool. Ravens, Dolphins. Give me the Ravens. Miami. Yeah, give me the Ravens as well. Yeah. 49ers, Giants in New York. Scatterbo's still out, though, unfortunately. Oh, Scatterbo's out for the rest of the season. Give me Niners. Give me Niners as well. Chargers, Titans in Tennessee. Chargers. I'd love to hate watch and just say Titans, but not Chargers. Vikings, Lions in Detroit. Give me Detroit. I agree. Falcons, Patriots in Foxborough. Give me the Pats. Give me the Pats as well. Colts, Steelers in Pittsburgh. Okay. All right. This one might be fun. I feel like y'all are gonna really bring the heat this week, though. But also, I've really been digging Indiana Jones. Screw it. I'll never cheer for the Steelers. Give me Indiana Jones and the Colts. Yeah, Pittsburgh doesn't make any sense, so I'm going to take Pittsburgh here. They're going to find a way to win this game. I can 1000% see this. This might be a blowout game where y'all win by like
3 times.
Oh, we don't blow out teams.
Let me be clear.
Well, we don't do that. If we win this game, it's gonna be grimy as hell. All right. This is going to be a Daniel Jones return to earth game. And then everybody's going to be like, oh my God, look at the Steelers defense. They're back. And then we're going to give up 40 points to the freaking Browns.
There.
All right. Broncos Texans in Houston.
I like this Broncos team, man. That defense is good. That might be the best defense in the NFL. I'm going to have to go Broncos.
Yeah, I'm going to go Broncos as well.
Yeah.
Bears, Bungles, and Cincinnati.
I need the Bears to continue losing, so then that way we still have a chance at playoffs. So give me the Bengals.
Yeah, give me Mr. Acrylic and the Bears.
Mr. Acrylic, that is diabolical work, Tanner.
I do my best. Panthers and Packers in Green Bay.
I'll never cheer for the Packers. Give me the Panthers.
Yeah, give me Green Bay.
I don't actually believe in that statement, but I'm still going to choose it.
Oh no, I love it. I want to get us out of here, but the Steelers fans should be ashamed of themselves for letting Packers chants of "Go Pack Go" happening in the stadium. Like the fact that you could hear that on the broadcast, like there should have been assault charges from thousands of Pittsburgh residents. Like that shit should not have flown in our stadium. I'm just saying that right now. That was ridiculous. And fuck the Packers fans for buying tickets to our games, like that should have been a sold out Steelers game. What are we doing? New Orleans and Rams in Los Angeles.
I don't know why I just paused like I had any thoughts on that. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, give me the Rams as well.
By $1 billion.
We got a shit bowl here. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Vegas.
Okay, Jacksonville's less shit though, so I'll go with Jacksonville.
For sure. Yeah, they're much better, but there's just something stinky about that Jacksonville team. We got Chiefs Bills, which should be a banger. Somehow not a primetime game, 4:25 game. Crazy.
Wow, so the NFL does all this shit with these 2 Monday games and putting games on. Yeah.
Well, dude, I mean, why would that be a primetime game when we could have Ravens Dolphins? All right, like that's way more interesting. Or fucking Seahawks Commanders, which is the next one after this.
So you said it was Bills Chiefs. Where is it played at?
It's in Buffalo.
I don't know, man. The Chiefs have a tendency to be the boogeyman of the Bills. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I feel like most regular seasons, the Bills win the games in Buffalo, but I don't know. There's something weird about this Chiefs team, so I'm going to take the Chiefs. Next game, Seahawks Commanders in Washington, D.C. Well, technically Landover, Maryland, but
I mean, it's just like
ridiculous.
Texas, not Dallas, but whatever. That's a good one. Because I feel like the Seahawks are like rapidly declining. Because didn't they lose this past week pretty bad?
Well, last week they didn't play. The week before that, I mean, they beat the Texans. It wasn't like they had a close game against the Texans. Only won by 8. But
no, I'm thinking about. We've got a bunch of used to be backup quarterbacks that are now starting quarterbacks, and I was getting Carson Wentz and
and Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Okay. Give me the Seahawks on that. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Seahawks as well. I think even if Jaden comes back and plays this one, I just think Seattle team's better. All right, and then our last game of the week. It's again. Going forward with our shitty Monday games, we got the Cowboys and the Cardinals in Dallas. So,
well, if it's in Dallas, we're going to win because we, for whatever reason, don't lose in Dallas. So, give me that. Although Kyler Murray going back home, he's going to put up a ridiculous amount of points.
Dude, I don't think Murray is going to be playing. It's probably going to be the Brisket boy. It's probably going to be
Jacoby. He's still hurt.
I think so.
Okay, well, yeah, Dallas by $1 million then.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that as well.
So.
All right, and that's it.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for listening. This has been Jordan and Tanner. I almost said Danny. I'm just so used to throwing his name out first. This has been Tanner and Jordan with the Fourth Down Fiasco. You can follow us on Twitter at @4thdown_pod. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Fourth Down Fiasco. Also, you can place a $10 bet through BetStamp, which is signupexpert.com/fiasco. You already heard from us who's going to win this week and who's going to lose, and me and Tanner are never wrong. Let's be real here. So place a $10 bet and just know that we are not legally responsible if you lose. But thanks so much for listening, and we will talk to y'all next week.
Let's go, Pens. Hugs and kisses.
Well, I like school, and I like football, and I'm gonna keep doing them both because they make me feel good.